So now when you open up Sublime Text, one of the first things you want to do for this exercise is to create a document, an HTML document. And what we'll do is we'll create a folder first within which to save our documents and all the files that we'll use for this course and this tutorial. So I'll go over on my desktop and I'll right click, new folder, and I'll call it Beginner HTML. That way now we have a folder within which to do and to put in our resources and things that we're going to be using for this this course and this tutorial. So I'll go ahead here and I'll drag in Beginner HTML, and now we have that file and that folder right in Sublime Text, so we begin using it. The other thing we want to do first off the bat is to create a document, and the document that we're going to be writing our first HTML website in will be called index.html. Now many folks will use the title index.html for a number of reasons. So one of the things we'll do, we'll go down here where it says plain text, go up to HTML, select that, so that way it knows we're using an HTML document. And we'll use the title index.html because it turns out many browsers will look for the file index.html as a home page for a website. So we'll just kind of follow along with that, and we'll name our first page in our website index.html. So I'm gonna go here and go File, Save. And first I'm going to just put it on the desktop because that's what it's asking me to do, and I'll type in index.html and save that. And now I'll drag that document into my beginner.html folder, and you see it pops up right here for index.html. I'll click on that, we'll use that, and I'll just get rid of this one since we dragged it into our beginner HTML folder. So now we have beginner HTML folder, we have an index.html document, we can begin typing our first HTML page. So a couple things we'll do, and as we mentioned right off the back, one of the first things you want to do is you want to set up your document so that you have the structure for an HTML document in your website. And so what we'll do here, and I'll just go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. We'll start typing HTML as we talked about before in our little tutorial, HTML. And now that I have that, I can just hit enter, and you see the full structure for an HTML document is right there, and it will allow us to begin to start typing. And this is exactly what we've talked about and seen in our tutorial as we walk through chapter 1 is what the structure will be. Now a couple things we'll do that you'll notice, just to make sure we have the proper flow as we're going through our website, we're going to indent a couple things, and that's considered a standard practice in HTML writing and just writing computer code in general, because as you get through long lines of code and big documents, you want to be able to follow it. So I'm just going to tab over for each section that's a little bit ahead, if you will, and actually I'll just give it a couple spaces, that way it'll be easy for us to follow. And so in here what you'll see is the body will be indented a little bit more than the head, and we'll just set it all up here. And I'm going to take our HTML document and give that some space and tab over. So now what we have right now is the ability to start typing. And one of the first things you'll notice again here is a couple things. You'll notice that we just made some changes, and you'll see a circle. A lot of your text editors will show you a circle up here when you've made a change to your document, letting you know that you need to save your file. So you're going to have to save your file quite often to make sure that you're capturing your changes. So I'll just go up here to File and hit Save. And there is a Command S shortcut for the Mac computer, and if you have a Windows computer, it'll show you your shortcut. But you can just hit Save, and you'll notice that it goes back to an X and it's not a circle anymore. So now you can begin typing. And one of the things we'll notice, we mentioned that this is our first website, and we're going to type right in here. Oops. My first website. And I'm going to go up here and save it. And a lot of times I'll use Command S as well, but I'll go up here and save it. Now how can we view this? Where will we view this now that I put this up here? What will this look like? I'm going to minimize this. If we go to our beginner HTML folder, we'll notice that we have our index.html document right in this folder. And what we can do is right click on it and open it in Safari or whatever your default browser is. And what you'll see is right up here, you'll see that there's nothing in the website here, but this my first website is right up here in the top of the window, if you will. And that's what we have right here in terms of our title, my first website. So that's where that goes. A lot of times you'll click on a website and you'll see something right up here in that top window. Well, that's how they get it there. They put it inside the head element, within the title element inside the head. So that's how they do it. So now that we have everything nice and neatly tabbed over here, we can begin writing in the body of our document, if you will. And as we mentioned, everything within the body element will show up on your window, within your window on your website. So let's get started. Let's start with an H1 tag. And this is the largest and most significant kind of tag that you can put on your website. And let's just type in here, this is my first website. And so this will be your H1 tag, and then we'll go ahead and start with a paragraph tag. Now, anytime you use a heading tag, H1, H2, all the way through H6, or anytime you use something like a paragraph tag, you will find that it will start over automatically on a new line. So that's one of the characteristics of certain tags and elements. And we'll type in here, writing HTML can be fun. There are so many things you can do. So that just gives us an opportunity here to have a first paragraph, and we'll see in a minute how that shows up on our website. And so as I mentioned, when you write a paragraph element, certain elements in HTML take up the entire line. They start on a new line. They're called block elements, but a paragraph element is one of the ones that will automatically start over on a new line. But there are other ways you can add a new line to your text, if you will. And so here I'll start with another paragraph element, and we'll just type in, you can add breaks. And remember, we're building this website together here. You can add breaks. For example, and I'll put a little colon there. If you add the BR tag stands for break. This will automatically add a break into your content. So I'll go down here and type over roses are red. Let's go up here. Red. Add another break here. Just to show you how that works. Violets are blue. This is my son. And I love you. I love you. So this adds, and I'll put another break behind that, which I really don't have to, but I'll go ahead and add a break there. And so what you will notice here is that this information will kind of flow out this way within our website. So if we go up here and we save, and I'm going to hit Command S, so you can just go up here and hit File, Save. And as we go up here and save our document, and then let's see what it looks like in our browser window. If we go up here and hit refresh, all of a sudden this information shows up that we just wrote right here, exactly what we wrote in terms of our HTML. This is my first website. Writing HTML can be fun. There are so many things you can do. You can see that that's right here as well. You can add breaks, and then when we started a new paragraph element, that automatically started this over. You can add breaks on a new line. And so, as you noticed, for example, in the browser will treat the BR a little bit different than it treats the paragraph element. But when I put, for example, here, you notice it put that on a new line as well, without as much space. So if I wanted to add a little more space within this, because all of this is kind of within a paragraph element, I could add in another BR right there, save it, just hit save, go over here and hit refresh, and again we get a little bit of space right there. So it's however you'd like to do it, but as you just get an idea that your paragraph elements will start over on a new line, and the browser will treat it with some space. If you want to add some forced breaks in your content, you can do so with the BR tag, and that will help you add forced breaks. But this is your first website.